the black man in America is like a 7-foot man that's drowning in 4 feet of water.
Break that down.
All he got to do is stand up. All he got to do is stand up to save himself. Like Will was saying, we have everything that we need in order to become a nation within the nation. We got the intellect. Don't tell me we ain't got the money with $1.3 trillion in spending power, but who are we spending it with? And you talking about the war? That's where the war is right there. The war is economic. The war is political. The war is educational. The war is cultural. That's where the war is. But we have to first give up this asinine idea that the American dream is somehow for black people. It never was, it is not now, and it never will be.
Hear me very clearly, is that there's no such thing as a disease that cannot be healed.
Hallelujah.
And this has been the problem with my colleagues, because they have the nerve to make these kind of statements and they don't even know the human body. So every time they talk about the fact that, we don't know, or if you don't know, then you have to shut up and be quiet and basically then ask to be shown, and truly, truth will always show itself. I had one of the most virulent forms of lung cancer in a reproductive female known as choriocarcinoma. And if anybody knows anything about choriocarcinoma, if you diagnose it in the lungs, it's already metastasized. I had that in 1985, so you can count those many years post-survival rate and see what you think about that, whoever made that statement. I was told in neurosurgery, brain tissue doesn't regenerate. Well, guess what? On my scientific magazine that I bought last month, it talks about now how paraplegics are thinking themselves to walk. Do you know that they have been studying black people since the 1700s? They have been drawing our blood, pinching our tissues, everything. The University of Michigan is the largest data bank for race-specific attributes. Anything you want to know about different races, the University of Michigan has it. And that's why I put the references in my book. Professor Stanley Garn, emeritus, talked to him personally, and he told me that when I wrote him and said, well, do you have anything specific on the differences between whites and blacks' hemoglobin? He said, well, you have to be more specific. We've done thousands of papers. So when I asked him to send me a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a whole package came. They have discerned our growth rate and development rate, neurologic development, bone density, muscle mass, everything. And they have identified its uniqueness. These authors who've written these papers, that it's very important that if medicine in general is going to make changes in the world to bring up the quality of health, they're going to have to recognize the uniqueness of the individual and honor his or her anatomical structure and genetic orientation. It's very, very important. I was reading an article here where they were talking about the genome of humans, and they were saying that, out of every 100 genes, every 1,000 genes, it's only the 1,001 position in the DNA that makes an individual different from another individual. But that is important, because obviously if you stand me next to a Caucasian female with blonde hair and blue eyes, and here I am with olive brown skin, black hair, and brown eyes, etc., that 1,001 gene is critical, that you have to honor that.